Hello and welcome to our Year with the Ears, our daily vlog where we relive our year living in the Walt Disney World resorts in 2019. Today is day 339.
We woke up very early this morning to get things started because we have a very busy day ahead. It is moving day, so we packed up everything here in the Grand Villa at Old Key West, loaded as much as we could into our car, and then one of our friends and I went to the front to get the luggage carts, loaded those up, and took them back up front for Bell Services to transfer them for us. And when we all got up to the front, we waited for the van to show up and pick us up because today we are going on a VIP tour together. All of our friends came into town for this day to go on a VIP tour because Rise the Resistance is opening officially today. We're very excited about that. Except for 2 days ago, we found out that we were not going to be able to ride Rise the Resistance with a VIP tour. 2 days is not much notice for people who are flying in from out of town. So I called them all and said, look, this is totally up to you guys. We're all splitting the cost of the tour. So if you want to cancel, we can cancel. If you want to come on down and do it, we're good to do that too. They all decided that even though we're not going to get to ride Rise the Resistance, they wanted to come down and do the VIP tour anyway and just have fun with it. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to go around and ride everything except Rise the Resistance.
The van arrived right on time at 11 o'clock and we all loaded inside and we went to the back of Hollywood Studios, went through, and the first ride everyone except a couple of us voted on was Rock and Roller Coaster, which I don't mind. I don't like this ride anyway, but especially not at 11 o'clock in the morning. And so they all went on it while we hung back. They all had so much fun riding this. Of course, the pictures are always great on this ride. When they got out, we kept going into the park and headed over to Toy Story Mania. This is a favorite of mine. I will ride it anytime. Robert and I decided not to ride together because we have so many friends. We want to spend time with them. And I forgot to take a picture on this ride, so we have another one of him for ride number 2. Ride number 3 was Slinky Dog Dash, and we were having so much fun visiting with friends. We forgot to take a picture in line, which isn't a big deal because you get pictures on the ride, and the picture never came through. So here's a photo proving some of our friends went on it, but we are not in this photo. After we got off the ride, we started heading into Galaxy's Edge, which most of the people in our group have not seen. So of course they're looking at everything, taking pictures and video of everything, which gave us a little bit of time for me to do a little photo shoot. I was really excited because I have this new Her Universe dress that I've been saving for today, and Robert was the amazing Instagram husband that he is. And I will say, he is amazing at this. He pays attention to details, he gets better angles than I would have thought of. It's so much fun, and I actually really do enjoy photo shoots when he does them.
After that photo shoot, we caught up with the group and we were kind of wandering through Galaxy's Edge. Our guide was giving all kinds of information about it, most of which I've heard before, but it was still a lot of fun to hear. And then we walked over to where Rise the Resistance is to see the crowds, which they are using a virtual queue to manage the actual queue, but the crowds over there were nuts. I was actually kind of glad that we're on this tour having fun with our friends instead of standing in line for that, because I did consider getting up very early this morning to try and get in the virtual queue to ride Rise the Resistance, although not everyone else would have been able to. I still thought about it, but now I'm kind of glad I didn't because it's crazy today. Instead, we went over to Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run and got to go through the Fast Pass line with our guide there. And we love riding this ride anytime because it's a lot of fun. It's interactive, but it's even more fun when you have friends, especially when it's their first time, because then you get to tell them what to do on the ride and yell at them when they can't fly the Falcon very well.
We leave them back, they may find the resistance. There is the last who did it.
Riding Smuggler's Run can be very stressful with friends and family because you're trying really hard to do well, and a lot of times you just can't control what's going to happen, and so you crash a lot and then they're yelling at you. But it's even more stressful if you ever sit back and be an engineer in the back and just watch the craziness when it's people that don't know each other because they can't yell at each other, and so they're just like, and you just watch them like hold their tongue, but they really want to say something. After we got off that ride, we did head back across the park to get towards our van, but we're not leaving just yet. We have to ride Tower of Terror. This is a favorite of mine, and so we did ride this one, had so much fun. And then 7 of the 10 people in our group opted to ride Rock and Roller Coaster again, so the other 3 of us went to check out the merch.
Alyssa sent me a picture of the merchandise list while we were walking over to Rock and Roller Coaster. I sent back a message letting her know what I wanted to get. Definitely the hat, always get the hat. and then a few other things like the pin and the t-shirt and stuff. And then we rode Rock and Roller Coaster, always a very quick ride because it's only like a minute long. And when you ride with a VIP tour guide, they take you right in the exit and put you right there at the front of the line. You don't even have to do the fast pass line. It's great. So when we got off of there, we headed out the back exit of Hollywood Studios into our van to drive over to Animal Kingdom. And on the way, we instructed everyone in the van to order their lunch from Satu'li Canteen. That way we can ride Flight of Passage when we get there and then have lunch right away without having to wait in line. We got to the park and went through the fast pass queue for Flight of Passage, and this is the first time that many of our friends have ridden this ride. And one of my favorite things to do on Flight of Passage, if I'm there with friends, is watch them as they experience it for the first time, because this is one of those rides that is so immersive and so much fun to watch people as they enjoy it when they've never done anything like it before. Once we got off of Flight of Passage, we walked next door to Satu'li Canteen to have our lunch. They did have a little reserved table there for us already, so we got our food from the counter, sat down, ate really quickly. We did get that beef and noodle bowl that we always get. It's our personal favorite. We share it. We don't want to eat too much today because we are walking around a lot as we try and ride all these different rides. And when we finished lunch, we started to head out of the park, and our guide Tom said, "You guys want to ride Flight of Passage again? Because we can just go on it again." Well, why not? We're here, you may as well ride it again. So we rode it again a second time for ride number 8.
Once we got off of Flight of Passage for the second time, we did head to the van and go over to Magic Kingdom. This will be our final park for the day. Our first stop was Space Mountain, which everyone did ride because this is a great one. And then we headed over to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, where our guide asked if there was anything he could hold, any Mickey ears, Minnie ears, hats. And I said, no, I'm totally fine. And he actually said, are you sure? Because I'm a little worried about your hat. And I was like, no, if I can ride Space Mountain with this hat, it's not gonna come off on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. So we got on the ride and Robert and I tried to take some funny pictures. And at some point, I'm not exactly sure when, I no longer had a hat on my head. So as it turns out, you can wear a hat on Space Mountain and not lose it and then not have it for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Mm-hmm. And when we got off the ride, our guide just looked at me and went, "Where's your hat?" I was like, "It fell off." He goes, "I said I would hold it for you." I was like, "I know, but I was really convinced it was gonna stay on my head. So this is all me, it's not on you, this is definitely my fault." We all had a really good laugh about this and then continued into the park. We made our way over to Big Thunder Mountain, and I actually did ride this one. I'm very proud of myself, mainly because my friends pressured me into it, but I rode it, and that's what matters. As we exited, our guide was standing there and he goes, "I have a little hidden treasure to show you all." And we're like, "Oh, hidden Mickey." And he goes, "Nope, it's not a hidden Mickey. It's a hidden Tinkerbell." And I was like, "Oh, there's a hidden Tinkerbell in this park." I'm so excited. And it is a hidden Tinkerbell. It's definitely there in the rocks. And he pointed it out. We all just kind of stared at it a little longer. And it is Tinkerbell for sure. But I think over the years, as weather and everything has gone on, it really kind of looks like a llama, so I kind of feel like it's a hidden Cusco now.
Either way, it's still fun to find, and I love the fact that on VIP tours, we are constantly finding and learning new things about stuff around the park. I, of course, love riding all the rides, but honestly, I think the fact-finding stuff is even more fun. When we left Big Thunder Mountain, we had time for one more ride, and everyone wasn't really sure what they wanted to do. Definitely not Splash Mountain. It's too cold for that. So we decided on Jingle Cruise because the line for that has been insane lately. I love Jungle Cruise and I love Jingle Cruise, so I'm very excited that we're going to be able to do this with the Fast Pass line using our VIP tour. We went through and rode that as our 12th and final ride of the day. We always love Jingle Cruise. The Christmas overlay is great and they change up almost all the jokes, which is a lot of fun. Our friends had a great laugh at it, but I think I probably enjoyed it more than anyone else. After we were done, our tour was officially ending, so we went over towards backstage where the van was, got one final group photo together, then we loaded into the van to go back to our resort, which is no longer Old Key West. It is now Animal Kingdom Lodge Kidani Village. So Tom took us over there and dropped us off. We said goodbye to him, and then we had to go and do a room tour of a very, very dark room. And we've got a dresser over here, which would be great for those who are staying in this area if they're using the pull-out sofa and chair. Got a little hidden Simba up in there, and then you also have some USB outlets and wall outlets. We have a chair in the living room here that is a twin pull-out chair. And we also have a couch that is a queen pull-out couch. So both of those here in the living room area, and you can pull those out, and we'll show you those here in just a little bit. And we have since gone back to Kidani Village and done a tour in the daytime. So if you want to see the full room tour of that room, you can find the new version linked down in the description below and up there in the corner.
Once we had finished taking pictures and video in the room, we did head downstairs with everyone because we booked Boma. We're all eating there together, which is so much fun because it basically gives us a place where we can talk about all the amazing stuff we did today. And Boma has such a huge variety of food options that we knew we were pretty much covered for everyone here because they have so many different things. Yes, a lot of it is African inspired food, but there's also a lot of things like mac and cheese and ham. So there's so many things. Even if you have picky eaters, this is a great option. And they have tons and tons and tons of dessert, which is what we love so much. And so we just had the best time ending the night here with everyone, talking about the amazing day we had and the fact we were not in all the crazy for Rise of the Resistance.
And after dinner was over, we did not quite all go back to the room. They all went back to the room, and I had to leave because our car was parked at Old Key West because we took the van this morning. So I got an Uber from Animal Kingdom Lodge over to Old Key West, and I got our car, which was loaded with most of our luggage, drove it back over here to Kidani Village and took the luggage up to the room while Alyssa had already called Bell Services for all the rest of the luggage, and that was the end of our day today. So we'll see you tomorrow
For our Year with the Ears.